there is a very, very strong electromagnetic force field around these stones. And it's just like in the pyramids of Giza. And I would imagine in Stonehenge, although in Stonehenge they rope it off and they don't allow you to go inside. I am a sensitive, and I can put my hands out if I'm in a vortex, and I will tell you if there's energy there. I can feel it in my hands very strongly. And I have to tell you that, boy, I think our DNA was changed just by being there. I know it sounds...
No, it doesn't sound illogical, really, Carrie. It does not. Trust me.
No, really, because I have to say that, boy, you get buzzed when you go there. You just, every time you go there, your whole body my body was tingling when I was leaving there. I mean, it was just really a trip. And, yeah, I highly recommend it.
You know, anybody that wants to do recreational drugs at all, they should just not do that. Just go places like that. I'm telling you, it's just it's fascinating. It really is.
It might be part of the reason why I can't get over my jet lag here. I think I'm
your DNA might still be restructuring itself there, trying to find its level ground. Well, one of the things that I wanted to share really quick in regards to the stones is what I picked up from, and I don't know if you did. I'm just looking to see if maybe you had a similar experience. I picked up a visual when I was looking at this, that there were like, and you know, again, it's like, how do you explain, what a car would look like to somebody that had never ever seen one? I mean, really, it's got four wheels. Well, if you've never seen a wheel, how would you describe it? Right? It's like trying to describe something that we're not familiar with in this dimension. And it's like, there was like these vehicles, if you will, that rode these stones, and they rode them through all parts of this land. It was like how we use our cars to get from point A to point B, but there's no noise to it. There's no nothing. It's as if everything floated across, and you can almost see, if you will, the sparks or what have you. That's just, a visual for a metaphor of the energy connection it makes from this vehicle, so to speak, that ride these stones. And that was part of the purpose, in my opinion, as what they were showing me, is what some of this was. It was also a way to transport maybe beings, maybe things. It could have even been the stones. I don't know, but that was the visual I picked up from when I was looking at the book, as well as some of the really strange information that came from looking down those tubes or tunnels for the gold mines that were in there as well. Those were totally fascinating as well. So I don't know if you got a chance to go by and visit any of those while you were there, and if you picked up anything very odd, strange about that, because I did.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I did not go into a gold mine. No, I didn't have a chance to do that. Certainly would have been fascinating for sure. Dr. Waterman, have you ever been to South Africa or had any exposure to anything like this?
Well, it's interesting you say that, but no, I haven't been there. This week, while you were gone, Carrie, I got an email from this fellow by the name of Neil, who has, and I'll be interviewing him, I think it was, July 16th. And he is just ended translation into English, and never before translated into English, some South African prophecies from some indigenous source there. So that's real strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
And, so he's going to be on here on Argusoog on the 16th, and we're going to be talking to him about what these prophecies from South Africa have been, and they've never been translated into English before, so this is new stuff. So, but when you go to a site that has this kind of ancient megalithic construction, you just you see it, and you just wish you could just back up and be watching who did it. It seems like there's something just mysterious, and there is. that isn't answered by seeing it without the people that put it there. And you really have those kind of strong feelings that, some of the things that literally come to your mind without any education at all is, how could a human being have done this? And it's just incredible. These are the kinds of sites that, like my friend and I, Frank, headed off to, where entire countries will block you with their military for access to them. And it's incredible,
Yeah, the good thing about Adam's calendar and the the standing stones, that, by the way, they go for miles. In fact, they go all the way up to Zimbabwe. And I'm told, I was sort of being, inculcated into the whole world of, ruins and mysterious Indiana Jones type sites.
It's fun. It's fun.
Not only by Michael, who is, basically a self-styled archaeologist, with no previous training in that area, although he does have a science background, which I'm sure aids him quite a bit in what he does. But I met this, Jan Horn, and I actually did a brief interview with him, and I don't know about the audio quality, so I may or may not be able to release it. But it was fairly impromptu. But he is an expert on these ancient ruins around South Africa, Zimbabwe, and around Africa in general. And he was basically kind of cluing me in as to all the different things that are available. And he was telling me that journalists are in great danger if they try to film in Zimbabwe, unfortunately. But he's sort of an old hand, and he's a very respected filmmaker, as I said, part of the South African television. So I guess they would hesitate to bump him off. But I made some inroads. If I suddenly wanted to change careers and start shooting very interesting sites around the world that are people are still investigating how they got there and so on. It's such a world that you get involved in, and it's really sort of an Indiana Jones thing. You go in these helicopters and you go hiking around, and so it's and then of course you get all kinds of bizarre after effects and effects that the sites themselves have on you and people around you, and it's just a whole world into itself. And it was a lot of fun in that regard, and I enjoyed that part of it. It was very cool.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say those ancient sites are, they're designed to elicit a response. That's how they draw our attention into people such as yourself and myself and other people like us. It's just a draw. And the more that we look at them, the more we investigate them, the more we become involved in them. They are life transforming. I mean, look at what happened to Michael Tellinger. He found them, if you will, or rediscovered them, or the pilot did. And once there, it becomes a life transformative experience. And the more you look into it, the deeper, more complex, and the more profound, not only the site gets, but the knowledge that's gained from it, and the total different perspective that one would take in their life. So I just think it's fascinating.
It brings home the notion that the way we live now, in which we don't pay attention or pay homage to these sites in our surrounding area, whereas other people back in the ages, I think they would go there to sort of regenerate their batteries, so to speak, and for healing, because some of the standing stones are in a circular pattern, and when I put all my footage together, obviously you're going to see all of this, but one of the things that happened is, you go into these enclosures, and I was ready to fall asleep like the minute I walked in. I was actually fighting to stay awake. It was really a bizarre dynamic in one of the places. And ultimately, it seemed that what was happening there is that you have a vortex that was so relaxing that it was basically going into a sauna, that like a health spa or something.
Right.
And
right.
I'm quite sure that at some time that's what the purpose behind some of this was. And it gets even more bizarre than that. I mean, Michael has